lot of people have asked me, why should we work so hard to win the Senate? What does it mean? What will it do? We won't have 67 votes. We won't be able to override Obama's veto. Obama will still be president. We probably won't have 60 votes, so we won't be able to pass legislation. What good does taking over the Senate do? Well, first of all, we can very probably override the filibuster for ordinary legislation and have the Senate pass it with 51 votes. The Democrats have certainly opened the door to that, and they deserve it if we do that to them when we take over. But there are a whole variety of things that we can do that are very important if we control the Senate, and it's important for us to focus on them. The first is judicial confirmations. Obama can no longer pack the judiciary with liberals and radicals, and he's either going to have to leave those seats vacant or cut deals with us to make sure that moderate, reasonable, independent judges are appointed. Secondly, many of the changes that Obama wants to make that are most fundamental in our lives, he's trying to enshrine in treaties, because he knows that if he signs a treaty, another Congress can't overdo it, can't undo it. A treaty has the force of the law of the land, on a par with the Constitution, until another treaty is signed, and which has to have the same nations that you probably can't do. And Obama's resorting to a subterfuge very few people know about it. It's called the Vienna Convention, which the U.S. signed, which says that if the president signs a treaty and the Senate has not yet acted upon it, the treaty is in force, in effect. And what that means is that Harry Reid is not bringing treaties up for a vote. The Arms Trade Treaty that sets up international gun control, the Law of the Sea Treaty that gives the oceans to the control of the UN. He knows that those treaties would be rejected, so he's not bringing them up, and they remain in force. So if we don't win the presidency in 2017, they're going to remain in force forever. What we need is control of the Senate, so we can bring the treaties up and vote them down, and then they won't be effective. This is especially important because John Kerry is planning to sign an international treaty on climate change, obliging the United States to many constraints that we've so far not had to do and rejected doing, but he would try to do it through the treaty process. Remember, the treaties bypass the House of Representatives. They don't have to be confirmed there. And there are a whole lot of pieces of legislation which we could pass, Obama could veto, and we would have a very good chance of getting enough votes to override them. For example, restricting the NSA, or stopping the war on coal, or enforcing standards against food stamp and other forms of welfare fraud, or Wall Street regulations against the top big banks. There is strong Democratic support for each of those, and very possibly a two-thirds majority in Congress, enough to override Obama's veto. Also, winning an election is not just about the seats that you get, it's the momentum. We won the 2010 election, and it was 6 months before Obama regained his footing because he killed bin Laden. Had he not, he would have been limping into the 2012 election and very likely been defeated. Let's go into the 2016 elections with Obama backpedaling on the defensive and having lost. When you lose an election like the control of the Senate, it sends a message throughout America of repudiation of your administration. And it makes people understand that you're an unpopular president and you're not a president who's done a particularly good job. Important groundwork for 2016. And finally, we have at least three, very good possible presidential candidates in the Senate right now. Rubio, Cruz, and Paul. And let's get the majority in the Senate so they can do their stuff, so that they can shine, so that the country can really look at them and can lay the basis for possible presidential bids in 2016. So it's very important that we win the Senate. Everything depends on it. Please work your butts off. And please share this video with others so that we can really make people understand how important it is to win this election. Thanks for watching.